So an update with the MAXX/8S project. So we took out this area here, the ESC, the radio area, kind of made it to a battery tray. So it's all mock-up pretty much. So battery, 4S, 8S. So we made one in that section. Now these 4S, they're like 5.5 inches. They do fit the area pretty well. So I put a kind of dismount here. Sacrifice the I used cutting board for this area. So this kind of first mock-up, it's like version 1. So we could put the ESC on top right here and the radio. So I'm probably gonna redo it, of course, put an extension right here, kind of like a square piece, so we can mount the radio tray kind of right in this area right here. So you can better center the ESC or push it far forward here. So I got a couple of things I gotta, redo. As far as this wire goes through, we have extensions. One now, I'm not gonna be using this. I'm gonna be using the Hobbywing MAXX G2. It's coming in today, but for now, this is the mock-up. I don't have a 3D printer, so I got some old cutting boards. I was gonna throw it away, so cut it up as a raw material, plastic. Cut it up, and made a battery tray out of it. Get cheap one. You could probably order the MAXX V1 battery tray. It's like 20 bucks on eBay. Probably use that, but I use this as a mock-up for now. The screws are on top, so I'm probably going to foam pad on it or counter sunk it. Same with this section. Gonna probably velcro it and mount the ESC. The Hobbywing, of course, not this one. It's just a mock-up for now. So this is our MAXX/8S project. And I didn't want to stack 2 batteries on top. It just gets in the way of the body, and just too lopsided. I mean, it's gonna be just kind of heavy on this side, and it's gonna be wobbling around. So it's pretty tall. You can strap it down, but it's just kind of awkward looking. So I put it here. It's a better fitment, a little more balance wise. It's not too tall, and of course, all this extra weight comes with shocks and suspension. So I got these big bore shocks. Originally, I had the Creighton ones. Give me a second. So these Creighton shocks, they're 134 millimeters. They're good. I mean, they're great, but the springs are a little weak, and as you can see, the bore is a little narrower. But these eBay ones, apparently, they're about they're a little longer, about 140 millimeter, and a 1.8 millimeter thicker springs. They're about the same, but this has more coils and a little stronger. As far as the travel wise, you can see full suspension droop. It's pretty tall, droop wise, and it doesn't bind the CVDs. So you can only do this with the double end kind of U-joint area, so it doesn't bind up. So the rear is pretty tall when it does jump. A lot of ground clearance. I'm using 90 weight oil, of course, so there's a lot of ground clearance. And did the same thing about a bushing there to kind of meet with it. But I think the Traxxas sledge rear shocks, they're about the same length. I probably would have went with that, but I don't have a Traxxas sledge yet. So I did that with the front also. The front's a little different. You can't go any taller because the steering link kind of prevents that. Prevents it from drooping down. If this was kind of a little bit lower, the steering area kind of like the XRT, kind of right below it, it'll get a little higher, but kind of limited in the steering angle itself. So these big bore shocks, stiffer springs, it's able to hold the 2 batteries and the bigger ESC. Hopefully it comes in today. And I'm probably gonna redo this plate. It's gonna use some mock-up, so I'm gonna put extra material here, kind of square it off, screw it here, and come a little further forward. Gonna give it more room. So you can put the ESC on it a little more forward, and probably mount it right here also, just for more rigidity, I guess. Probably add a extra length all the way here, kind of just an extra plate also, but it's probably too much. I gotta make some templates, whatnot. So far, here it is. MAXX 8S, not just battery stacking, but actually putting it in the center plate itself. Also, we are using this sucker as a body. So we're using the Traxxas UDR body. It's pretty cool. I didn't like the plastic slash body, just because it wouldn't fit, of course, because of the wheels are pretty massive. You're just gonna rub on it. We did do a white kit, plus we added an extra 10mm extension, axle extension, so give that look. Plus the sledgehammer tires kind of push the tires a little more, so I give it that white stance. This UDR shell, it's pretty more weight, of course, because there's more plastic in it, but it just kind of sits pretty good right on top. So the rear bumper sits right over the rear bumper, and we pretty much attach it with Velcro. That Velcro here in the front sits pretty well on the front bulkhead. Kind of just shimmy it a little bit. So we did a cutout right there. Gonna slides over the shock towers, and it goes right right down there. So when it's mounted, so this is pretty snug. Again, we did the cutout right here, so it could slide over the shock tower. The body sits on the shock tops right here. It's pretty snug already, but I'm gonna probably use Velcro here, just kind of keep it together. We're gonna Velcro right here too as a mount, and of course the back. For the rear tires, we moved the gas filler, I guess, on the body, and we're probably gonna make a mount for the extra tire for the back, just for the look, of course. I can get a rod for it, stick in the middle, kind of bolt it down. So I gave you that UDR look. I do have a UDR, I just didn't like it. It's just a pain in the ass to kind of work on, getting on stuff. It's just, I break a lot of stuff with it. But the MAXX, DNA, it's pretty tough, so I decided to use this. It's just more easier to modify, I guess, for therapy wise, mental therapy. So this is what it looks like so far. My MAXX / UDR with exo cage. I'm gonna be putting of course a plate on it, kind of covering it up, top, front, kind of areas, maybe some vinyl. I'm probably gonna use like a Coke bottle aluminum plate or something plastic right on top, just kind of cover it up, something easy. So these are the old MAXX slash steering linkages. I just kind of repurpose them, kind of give it a more rigidity. So if I do flip over, it kind of protects this kind of area a little bit. Just not a whole lot to it. Kind of just this plastic pieces. So this kind of keeps it together. Added these lights, kind of the UDR look. So like the UDR, just didn't like the chassis wise. The shocks were too flimsy. It was I broke a lot of it. So this is what it looks like so far. The MAXX / UDR 8S. So with the wide max arms. So the stock shocks gonna keep up, even the extensions or whatnot, even the Crayon 6S, even the excess weight, it was just too much load and too short. So these ones right here, same as these ones, helps to keep it up. Right now it's about close to 50%. Actually, it's about 40%. Gonna scroll down. So for weight wise, is full extension. If you drop it, resting wise, with all the tire, weight, body, kind of everything on there. That's how it sits. So there's a lot of weight in the rear, especially with a heavier chassis, extra tire in the back. So it puts a lot of weight on the rear shocks. That's why I didn't like the UDR itself. It was too soft, even with the Vitibond springs. So we tried this. I could probably, adjust it further, get a little more ride height, but I want to kind of droop a little bit when it does the jump. We push it down all the way, compress it. First, extra tire. Again, you probably compress a little further down. Extra tire. So the extra tire does, you know, leverage wise. So hopefully I get the package in today from Hobby Wing. Get the 8S going, kind of test it out. I'm not gonna bash this thing, of course. I'll probably destroy it if I do. A little more careful with it now. I do have a, you know, Creighton S as a basher. These things break all the time. And it's the first time seeing this video. Look at the previous one. It kind of gives you an idea what I've done to it. This is built from scratch, of course. So other than that, kind of reiterate. I did put a, you know, a wheelie bar in the front and back, because when I take these nose dives, I've done it and broke everything. So nose dives, hopefully it helps prevent more damages. Kind of reinforced it with a nylon bar. Same with the bottom, nylon bar. All right. Catch you in a little bit. So for mock-up, well, for testing wise, I put the Traxxas 6S motor back on there. Took the Spectrum out just because connectivity is a lot easier. Yeah, so we put the 8S MAXX ESC on there, 6S motor. I mean, we'll see how long it lasts. But I do have the Hobby Wing motor. It's freaking huge. Thought it'd fit, but I'm waiting for a custom mount for it. You know, we'll see how that happens. Maybe in the next episode. Battery strapped in. It's actually mounted properly instead of just being stacked. ACSC using the radio link. I'm gonna go outside and test it out real quick. Test it here first.
Welcome to Radio Link.
Oh, radio link. Here you go. Test it out. Okay. Good beans. Fans are on. It's going. It works. Oh. Testing. Alright, take a good test it outside. So here it is today, a shakedown run for this thing. See how everything goes. The battery's not fully charged, about 70%, but let's see how this thing goes. Oof, like a bat out of hell. There we go. It slips. Pretty much doing burnouts and grass. Oh, I got the red light. I think I forgot to charge the LiPo. Damn. Yeah, low voltage. I forgot to charge it. Yeah, the red light. So I forgot to charge it. I have to retest it tomorrow.